What you doing? I'm your Otakutainer, theacstories with this Otakutainment Reviews. I'm talking about a brand new manga called Gift of Poison or Doku no Okurimono by DODOTAN. The translation is by Catherine Delage with lettering by Rafael Souza and editing by whatever entity Manga Bang is. This is Chapter 1, Penniless Prodigy, Monied Mediocrity. It came out on Jump Plus and Manga Plus on April 3rd, 2024 in 67 pages, but if you look on Manga Plus it says 69. Nice. The creator DODOTAN has no other manga credits I could find, not even a published one-shot anywhere, so this story is going to be from a probably brand new manga creator. It's pretty neat. So the summary for this series, because yes, I remember to read it again, is Gift Hisona, a gifted painter cursed with financial woes. On the brink of finishing his latest work, his trusty palette knife suddenly snaps. In a desperate attempt to afford a replacement, he steals paint from his close friend and fellow art club member, Taima. This act of theft, witnessed by another club member, Kadomi, marks the beginning of his poisonous downfall. And let me say, that is exactly and the only things that happen in this chapter. Nothing else. Don't expect anything else. I guess right away, initial impression, a bit disappointed there wasn't more. Yeah, right away, in the very beginning, introducing it, if you didn't read the description of it, the very beginning pretty much tells you everything you need to know, everything that's going to happen in this first chapter. It pretty much just says all the essential and expensive paints are toxic. Talking about pretty much the title. Hisona did something bad. Showing caught by Kadomi, and right away it's because we see Hisona's run out of white paints, and then it shows the main three characters, or at least the backs of them. Gift Hisona, Kaito Taima, Shinsa Kodami. Taima's the one he steals from, Kodomi's the one that catches them. All said in the description. The guys say it all right away in the beginning too. Also, I guess there are high schoolers. It never gives any more information about any of them, but it's a typical setting for something like this, I guess. Now, where the rest of this chapter goes is pretty much just showing how it leads up to that point again, and you think there'd be more to it, but there's really not. We see Taima is pretty much just humble bragging about their dad also went to art school, gets everything Taima needs, no problem, and even shows off these badger hair brushes that are just two for under 50 or 5,000 yen. Taima doesn't seem like a bad guy. And I said humble brag, but he's just, still excited and being nice about what they're talking about. They're friends. They seem like general friends, but we see more into Hisona's thinking, just really emphasizing needing paints that are toxic because they're the best ones. Apparently, all Hisona can afford are these cheaper hues, which I don't know anything about painting. For some reason, I feel like when I've painted before, I felt like I was decent, but my only real paint knowledge comes from like Splatoon, so not really me to say anything with, but there's just so much emphasis on the toxicness of these really nice expensive paints and the fact that Hisona paints with a knife. Everything seems like something dangerous or something just dark is going to happen, and it doesn't in this chapter. It's all pretty innocent. But Hisona needs more paint, which means Hisona needs more money, and where you get that money from? Hisona's mom, who is upset about the expensiveness of the paint, but still give the money. And it's just from the facial expressions and kind of stories like this, you would expect the mom to be a lot meaner or just, just abusive. I don't know, something bad. But even though the face kind of looks mean, it's more probably just upset because nothing mean actually happens. Doesn't even argue, just gives Hisona the money. Probably just upset because it's expensive and wants to support your child. So, but what do you do if you don't have the money for it? And it's not like they're living in a dump. The house looks like it's pretty standard anime home, manga home. I guess middle class family of any sorts. So I don't know, but yeah, painting, art, really hobbies in general are expensive, And we get to see on Hisona's wall, there's a lot of awards, so it's not like it's, it really is a prodigy. None of this is getting like a wasted effort. And really, if you're enjoying what you're doing, is it really a waste of time anyways? Yeah. So Hisona is stressing about the money mainly because mom is also stressing, and it all comes back. But then we see Hisona just really getting toxic about all this because Taima's mediocre but has all this money, doesn't seem to have any real talent besides dad having an art school. But then we have Kodami, who may also be a prodigy, but we don't really see too much of Kodami yet. And so just a bunch of toxic jealousy coming from this, but is also aware of it. So I don't know if that makes it any better, but it's the best you can do. I don't know. Hisona's trying to work out these thoughts and feelings, and just all the stress of it, I guess. Back to school we go with Hisona. Taima's asking for knife tips, how to use them. Hisona shows it, and mainly it was just a way to show off Hisona's favorite knife that's its biggest and most flexible, right before going to show Hisona using it, and then it snaps. Now Hisona needs a new knife to finish this painting, which it's a weird painting, but I guess really cool. Kind of that also dark, and it fits, I don't know, the personality we've been seeing from Hisona so far. But a new knife costs about 3,410 yen. Hisona only got 5,000 from her mom, so, and also needed that for paint. Can't do much about it. Tries to put a plan together, get the knife, oils, the bit of paint you can, but there's only so much and he still needs more. And now the heist to steal the paint that we knew was going to happen begins. And it is long, drawn out, overly dramatic, and just boring. I guess if I didn't get so bored, the art would be pretty interesting in the paneling, but it just seems so needless that I kind of just stopped paying attention. I read it, but I felt like it was almost half the chapter, but it's really not much is happening. And Hisona even acknowledges, like, oh, get caught, just ask for forgiveness. He probably could have just, asked for permission in the first place. This isn't a big deal, especially for someone like Taima, maybe. And we don't know Taima's personality completely yet, only like maybe surface levels, but maybe asking for a little bit probably wouldn't have hurt. I don't know, Taima may also have some jealousy and probably wouldn't let him because drama. But this was just a very disappointing thing to read and be like, I thought there would be more to it. Thought something was going to happen. No, it's Hisona gets through, gets the paint, and this is where the juicy bit come in. Is Hisona turns around for then Kodami also still in the room. That's the thing. It's not even like Hisona was completely alone. Kodami was also there, sitting just one easel away. I don't know how sneaky Hisona thought it was being, trying to seem natural or not a big deal, but then turn around, see Kodami won't give him a compliment, a sarcastic compliment, and then have him phone at the ready to blackmail, it seems like. So it reflects back to the beginning scene, because this is exactly what happened. But yeah, I feel like the drama isn't even from like some kind of twisted personality from Hisona. It seems like Kodomi's gonna be the toxic, twisted one, and we'll probably make a big deal about this. Like I said, probably blackmail, which will cause Hisona to freak out and maybe lead to bad things. Who knows? Because it just stops. It stops there with, I don't know, some painting of a jellyfish, which I guess are toxic, and the tentacles are like tangling up Hisona in a mess. It's like something to be poetic about the current situation, but I don't know, it never really made jellyfish references throughout the rest of the chapter, so it just seems kind of random, especially because it's the last page. It stops right at the beginning, pretty much. I thought there'd be more. And look, this is probably very rare for me to say. I thought this was too long for what it was. The whole thing should just been the beginning. It could just easily breeze through it. Maybe 20 pages at most for this. And then you still had like 40 pages for maybe, okay, half and half, maybe 30 and then 30, and then get at least through this initial confrontation with Kodomi and Hisono. But no, it just stops right where it started. I don't know. But I said at the beginning, I thought it would be a lot darker, maybe take a very dark psychological turn, because we kind of see Hisono's personality. Now we see Kodomi's, and we still have yet to see Taima's true one. And we can still see it, but for now in this first chapter, it just seems like innocence. It would be more dramatic if you did this exact same thing, but they were like elementary school kids. Because then it's like, oh yeah, well they're elementary kids. They're going over, make things over dramatic because they're kids and that's what they do. They're high schoolers. They're talking about going to university. They're old enough to not make this seem that dramatic and big a deal. But they are also still kids. So, I don't know. The whole thing was a little disappointing. I thought it would be something more twisted, but oh well. I don't know. But I do want to point out more about the art in including more color without being completely in color. I'm not a crazy fan of manga being completely in color. It just has like a weird feel to it while reading, but having these accents and maybe a page or two in color, it's nice. It's a nice thing. The whole thing may be a bit too much, but I like how the color is getting saturated throughout this chapter. Is that those sounds like fancy art words, but that's pretty much it for the review itself. Nothing special. I expected more. Maybe there's still more potential. I hope it gets a little darker. Man, is that bad for me to say? To just want a dark story for something like this? I don't know, but I do hope it happens. Now, to talk about the title like usual, it mainly seems like a title that is there just meant to be intriguing instead for really, I don't know, it does like conceptualize what's going on in this, but Gift is the main character and it just seems obsessed with toxic or poisons. And also, it's just weird, the capitalization, because the title itself has no capitalizations, even though Gift is the name of the person. Maybe that's why it's not capitalized, it's to try to throw someone off, but I don't know. But then, the creator's name is completely capitalized. I don't know if that's just a localization thing for English that they did, because there's not capitalizations, as far as I know, in the Japanese written script, so I don't know what the decision for this was. Now for the chapter title, a bit more clever, just showing Hisono is the Penniless Prodigy, even though not penniless. Also, does Japan have pennies in their currency? I don't know. Anyways, and then Taima as the Monied Mediocrity. So yeah, just to show that their relationship, and a little bit more clever with the name at least on that. That is it for this first chapter of Gift of Poison by DODOTAN. It's kind of iffy for me. It could be better, but let me know what you thought, if you're really liking it, where you expect the series to go. You can do that in the comments. You can find me on social media, theacstories, or email me at theacstories@gmail.com. I also have a Discord you can join if you want to talk about this and more stuff there. And I have a Ko-fi. If you want to help support me, you don't have to, but I greatly appreciate it. I will thank my supporters now, Fix Lab and Julio Vasquez. If you want to be one of them, there will be links in the description for everything I just mentioned. But if you liked what I had to say, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to follow up with more reviews, go ahead and subscribe. But that has been it for this Otakutainment news. Until next time, I have been your Otakutainment, the AC Stories. Thank you so much, and bye.